Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9 p.m. English news edition brought to you live from RTD channel. Let's begin with the top stories of tonight. At the presidency of the Republic, President Gille presided over the National Day on Good Governance of Business and Private Sectors. And on the international scene, UN warns planet could exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming within 5 years. Those were the top stories, and welcome back in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, chairs the first National Forum on implementing a governance reform in public enterprises and institutions. The President of the Republic officially opened today the first ever National Forum dedicated to reflecting on the implementation of governance reform in public enterprises and institutions. This important forum held at the Presidential Palace brought together over 300 participants, including general directors from various government agencies and numerous leaders from national companies and institutions. The vision was an effective governance for a sustainable development and improved living standards. In his opening speech, the President emphasized that his forum demonstrates a strong national commitment to transparent, accountable, and effective public administration. Its goal is to put in place practical mechanisms to boost the performances of state institutions and to support sustainable economic growth and better living conditions of the Djiboutian citizens. President Guelleh stressed that reform based on good governance is a central pillar of the country's economic and social progress as well. He did not fail to describe this initiative as a strategic move to enhance the management of public resources and stimulate growth across all economic sectors, a structured and lasting framework for cooperation. The forum also served to introduce a new cooperation charter between the Executive Secretariat in charge of managing state assets and public enterprises. This joint charter outlines a framework for regular strategic dialogue, governance rules based on a long-term commitment, and mechanism to ensure institutions meet with their obligation to the public sector. Legal reforms align with the transparency and efficiency. These reforms are supported by a new legal framework designed to strengthen good governance and modernize leadership methods within the public institution. The reform focuses on key principles: transparency in decision-making and institutional action, accountability of administrative actors, and genuine public accountability rooted in citizen trust. And finally, this forum will become an annual event to assess the progress of reform efforts and to track improvements in the management of national public assets.
Hey
And the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, who took part in the meeting on implementing good governance, emphasized the importance of this gathering, which marks a key step toward more effective public management. Participants in this discussion and debate had the opportunity to discuss strategies for implementing good governance, improving management, strengthening the accountability of managers, and optimizing the use of available resources. The event is part of a transformation effort aimed at modernizing administrative and economic process. It is not merely a technical adjustment, but a real driver of growth for national economy through management mechanisms suited to current challenges. The reform aims to create an environment conducive to stability and sustainable development. A key topic during the meeting was the responsibility of managers. In a context where resource optimization is essential, it is crucial that those in charge adopt transparency and efficient management. This principle of accountability is fundamental to ensuring the success of those reforms. And during the meeting on the implementation of good governance, the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of natural resource of industry, Ilyas Musa Dawale, presented the main strategic guidelines aimed at modernizing the management of public enterprises. He emphasized the importance of putting in place a culture of accountability and transparency, as well as the need to adopt performance indicators tailored to each sector. And during the meeting on good governance, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed did not fail to welcome the effective establishment of Executive Secretariat responsible for overseeing public enterprises, highlighting its essential role as the direct representative of the stakeholder state in controlling, evaluating, and supporting public institutions. The Prime Minister recalled that this ambitious reform aims to strengthen transparency, accountability, and efficiency in managing public resources. Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed emphasized the importance of a collective, sustainable, and responsible commitment from all stakeholders, including leaders, managers, and supervisory authorities. He also stressed that close collaboration among public actors is very important to ensure the success of the forum, build a modern, transparent, and high-performing governance system, and make this reform a true driver of economic growth, social development, and national stability as well. The President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, chaired a historic event at the Presidency of the Republic. He delivered a key speech focusing on good governance and the country's sustainable development. Let's listen to the President.
Cette journée nationale dédiée à la gouvernance des entreprises et établissements publics.
On this National Day dedicated to the governance of public companies and institutions, I wanted to welcome you to the Palace of the Republic to express the importance I attach to the governance of the entities for which you have been entrusted. I know that this is a significant responsibility, one that commits you and requires your constant dedication. I also know that it is a demanding responsibility because you are expected to deliver tangible results that positively impact the daily lives of our fellow citizens. The government has listed these difficulties and so many others in an in-depth assessment of the state of our companies and public institutions. The government also undertook this radical diagnosis within the framework of a constructive dialogue with all stakeholders to ensure its inclusivity and collective ownership. This is why the initiative to fundamentally reform our public institutions and enterprises draws its legitimacy from a clearly considered political will. Ladies and gentlemen, in a world plagued by crises of all kinds, both unpredictable and violent, every nation faces tensions that can undermine its economic and social models. Our country is no exception, even though We have demonstrated resilience when necessary. This is largely thanks to the public enterprises, which by sometimes acting as a buffer against external shocks and sometimes as a lever for growth for our national economy, have fully contributed to our socio-economic development. This is why the recommended reform aims to project our businesses and public institutions into the new context so they can continue to fulfill their dual objectives of public service and economic development. This new context, as you know, is driven by competitiveness, but it is also driven by innovation through digital technology and, more recently, artificial intelligence. We must not only integrate these parameters into the structure of our businesses, but also use them as an asset to achieve our objectives. As you will have understood, the reform we are aiming for is nothing other than a modernization of our businesses to make them better adapted to the demands and challenges of today and tomorrow.
In the second part of his speech, President Ismail Omar Guelleh talked about the need for everyone to work together. Tune in again to the President's speech.
Forme que nous ambitionnons n'est rien d'autre qu'une modernisation.
This reform, ladies and gentlemen, must imperatively rest on three pillars that will form the backbone of good public governance. First and foremost, efficiency and effectiveness. Indeed, for our institutions and businesses to develop a culture of performance and effectiveness, they must rely on highly skilled human resources. That is, men and women whose experience and training add value to the company's competitiveness and performance. The second pillar of this reform is the requirement of transparency and accountability. Here too, we must not hesitate. Every public dollar invested must be traceable. This is not only a question of integrity and morality, it is also a matter of credibility and trust with our fellow citizens. Finally, the third pillar on which this reform is based concerns the very perception of our companies. We must indeed consider our companies as a common good, and we must do so while keeping in mind that what we undertake today we also carry out for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this reform does not stem from contingent political choice, but from a historical necessity. Like any major reform, this reform will provoke resistance as it challenges our habits. But this rethinking is beneficial because it is the prerequisite for the regeneration of mindsets essential for the good governance of our public companies. Naturally, in this new emerging configuration, the state as a shareholder will ensure both the protection of its assets and the strategic consistency of its commitments, while fully assuming its role as manager of access and the right to quality public service. The state will ensure that in competitive sectors, our companies and public institutions remain logical. It is in this new building that our enterprises and public facilities develop in their surroundings and combine a contract of objective and performance. These conflicts with the engagement of the nation and accounts for other actions and results. This displays the nature of all our homes to engage in this vital reform for our salaries and our economy. And I have more personal in the concretization of this superior interior for our nation. It is time of passage of intentions and actions.
Other news now. The Dai forest was partly destroyed yesterday by a large fire. On Tuesday, a fire burned nearly 50 hectares in the forest near Mount Sheikh Absid. Fortunately, no one was hurt during the incident. The fire spread quickly. The National Gendarmerie is investigating how the fire started and has no ruled out the possibility of accidental or deliberate causes. And now the 31st African Regional Meeting on the Francophone Parliamentary Assembly led by MP Omar Ahmed Wais, second Vice President of the National Assembly. The National Assembly took part in the 31st African Regional Meeting of the Francophone Parliamentary Assembly. The meeting was held in Cotonou, Benin from June 2nd to 4th, 2025. The Djibouti group in the APF included MP Omar Abdullahi Ahmed, MP Ubah Abdullahi Ilmi, and MP Abdullah Muhammad Ibrahim. They all joined the meeting. The meeting started on Monday, June 2nd at the Sofitel Marina Hotel in Cotonou. More than 40 countries and groups from other countries took part. Let's head now to Morocco, where Djiboutian parliamentary delegation at the Green Investment Dialogue in Marrakesh. MP Leia Ismail Gedi, chair of the Parliamentary Climate Committee of the National Assembly, led a Djiboutian parliamentary group to the Green Investment Dialogue in Marrakesh. The event was organized by the Climate Parliament and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization with the support from the Green Climate Fund. The Djiboutian group also included MP Kamel Hamed, MP Abdurrahman Yassin, and MP Issa Ahmed. And now concerning the Hajj 2025, since last night, thousands of pilgrims from around the world have begun their journey toward Mina, marking the first step in the Hajj pilgrimage, the fifth pillar of Islam. Mina, located about 7 kilometers east of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, has transformed into a city of large white tents where pilgrims will stay on the 8th night of Dhul Hijjah. This day, known as the Day of Tarwiyah, officially marks the start of the major rites of Hajj. This is an unforgettable moment. Being here is a dream come true, said one Djiboutian pilgrim. We pray to Allah, the Almighty, that our Hajj is accepted and that peace prevails in our countries. On Thursday, pilgrims will travel to Arafat, the most sacred and significant location of the pilgrimage, where they will spend the day in prayer and remembrance of the Almighty Allah. That night, they will move to Muzdalifah, where they will perform the ritual of stoning the devil by throwing stones. Afterwards, they will return to Mina to complete the stoning of the Jamarat. This year, as usual, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has focused on managing crowd control, ensuring health safety, and protecting the environment. Millions of liters of water have been supplied to Mina and other sites. Health facilities are fully operational. Awareness campaigns have been conducted in multiple languages to reach all pilgrims. Hajj is both a physical, spiritual, and social journey, with over 2 million Muslims participating annually. Whether in the silent desert or in group prayers, each pilgrim experiences a unique journey with the hope of inner purification and a new beginning. The Saudi government has deployed extensive resources to serve the pilgrims efficiently and respectfully. Thousands of security personnel and healthcare workers are on site. Thousands of volunteers are assisting with water distribution, guiding pilgrims, and maintaining security.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك له لبيك اللهم لبيك.
As the Eid al-Adha approaches, Balbala livestock market is busy with activity, with the sacred celebration of Eid al-Adha drawing near. The Balbala livestock market is experiencing a surge in activity marked by an increasing influx of cattle, sheep, and goats. This market has become the central hub for buyers seeking quality livestock essential for the religious festivities. Everyday vehicles unload their cargo, transforming the market into a lively place where tradition, commerce, and cultural celebration come together. The large arrival of animals highlights the significance of this period for both breeders and buyers who are eager to acquire healthy livestock to honor Eid Al-Adha celebration. Sailors, fully aware of the importance of this season, have carefully prepared their herds. During our visit to Balbala livestock market, both sellers and buyers mentioned fluctuation in livestock prices as at the crucial time for the vendors. Now, this official launch of the Drive Project investment program to strengthen the livestock economy in the Horn of Africa. The Clay Leadership and Business Center hosted the official launch workshop for the Drive Project investment program. The event was officially opened by the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti, with the project being led by the Chamber in partnership with the World Bank, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the Ministry of Economic Cooperation. The event gathered high-level representatives from government institutions and development stakeholders, including Abdulrazak Ahmed, representative of the Ministry of Finance, Abdullah Ibrahim, representative of the Ministry of Economic, Ibrahim Elmi, representative of the Ministry of Agriculture, and Fatou Fall, representative of the World Bank, and Sebastian, president of the Banking Association. The Drive project focus on reducing the economic risks faced by pastoralist communities, increasing economic participation of rural population, and promoting sustainable investment in the livestock economy of the Horn of Africa. All speeches at the event emphasized the importance of continuous investment in rural areas and strengthening the role of pastoralism communities in the regional economy. Mrs. Fatou Fall reaffirmed the World Bank's commitment to supporting a project that enhances financial inclusion and resilience in vulnerable communities. And following the speeches, cooperation agreements were signed between financial institutions and businesses involved in livestock and agriculture, marking a significant step toward the project's implementation. The event concluded with a group photo symbolizing unity in joint effort for sustainable development. In his address, the Secretary General of the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti expressed her pride in witnessing the official launch of the Drive investment program, describing it as a crucial step towards strengthening the livestock economy in the Horn of Africa. She emphasized the Chamber's commerce commitment to supporting pastoralist communities by reducing economic risks, promoting sustainable investment, and improving their integration into the regional economy. She also highlighted the significant challenges these communities face, such as climate change and economic vulnerabilities, which require coordinated effort and sustained investment. The Secretary General of the Ministry Delegate for Economy emphasized the importance of the Drive project in improving the economic integration of rural communities. He highlighted the key role of this program plays in reducing the financial risk faced by pastoralists while encouraging sustainable investment that promote equitable economic growth in the region. He also pointed out that the success of this project will depend on close cooperation between public and private stakeholders. He expressed hope that this initiative will serve as a model for other regions facing similar challenges. And in turn, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture recalled the major challenges related to climate change and food insecurity that strongly impact the livestock sector. He praised the initiative as a vital lever to strengthen the resilience of pastoralists and improve agricultural productivity through a better resource management and increased support for pastoral communities. And on the occasion of World Environment Day, which this year focused on the theme Stopping Plastic Pollution for Health, the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development organized a national awareness workshop on Tuesday, June 3rd at the Kempinski Palace Hotel in Djibouti. The workshop, chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry, brought together over 100 participants from various government institutions, local authorities, UN agencies, civil society organizations, private sector group, schools, active youth, and media representatives. The main goal of the event was to raise awareness among key stakeholders about the health and environmental impact of plastic pollution. The discussion highlighted the harmful effect on the environment, the economy, and public health. Participants were also encouraged to work together to find sustainable solutions that are suitable for local needs and conditions. The event marks the official launch of national activities for World Environment Day in Djibouti and is part of the government's broader effort to address global environmental challenges. In an address, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development emphasized the urgent need to address the growing problem of plastic pollution. He stated that the impact of plastic waste extends beyond the environment and is now a serious threat to public health and the economy as well. He pointed out that raising awareness among all sectors of society, government bodies, local authorities, civil society, youth, and the private sector is very important in finding long-term and local adapted solutions. And still with the national news, Al-Zad School in Djibouti honors the Flame of Hope graduating class at City Hall ceremony. In an atmosphere filled with joy, pride, and emotion, Al-Zad School of Djibouti held solemn ceremony in the large hall of City Hall to mark the end of the 2024-2025 school year to honor the 22nd graduating class named the Flame of Hope. 50 students were celebrated during this special event. The ceremony was held under the high patronage of Mr. Faisal Ali Roble, director of the school, alongside distinguished personalities from educational and institutional sectors. And among the honor guests were Ahmed Siad, director of Sheikh Osman School, Ms. Halima Osman, director of Al-Irshad School, and representative of the president of the school's founding council. The event also includes many representatives from partner institutions and sponsors whose going support significantly contribute to the success of the ceremony. The highlight of the ceremony was the awarding of prizes to the students of the Flame of Hope graduating classes. And the school director Faisal Ali Roble warmly welcomed everyone to the ceremony and expressed that the event was a special moment. Let's listen to him.
Today we are gathered here to celebrate the graduation day for our dear graduates. Thank you. May God bless your effort and grant your success and guidance in your future days. We also extend our deepest appreciation and gratitude to everyone who contribute to the supporting of this educational journey, to the patient parents, to the dedicated teachers who dedicate their lives by spreading knowledge and intelligence, but also the values to the administration and staff who works with the discretions and dedication. We also extend our sincere thanks to Sabah African Bank for its generous support and blessed contribution to the success of this event. This initiative is not surprising from an institution committed to developing society and strengthening its pillars. Dear guests, by the grace of God and then thanks to your combined effort, Al-Zad Model School is steadily moving toward achieving its vision. Dear parents, you have been true partners in this success. We hope that your hands will continue to support us so that together we can continue to support and educate our children, combining knowledge, faith, moral values, and the spirit of giving.
And now this training for Djiboutian journalists on artificial intelligence and combating disinformation. A training session focused on artificial intelligence and the fight against disinformation was launched yesterday at the French Institute of Djibouti, targeting around 20 Djiboutian reporters. This initiative aims to strengthen their skills in addressing the growing challenges posed by new technologies in the production and dissemination of information. The opening ceremony features speeches by Eric Chevroy, Cooperation and Cultural Action Advisor at the French Embassy in Djibouti, and Kennedy Ibrahim Hussein, President of the Djiboutian section of the Union of Francophone Media. Let's head now to Ali Sabih, where a mission of Djibouti's National Human Rights Commission to Ali Sabih. A delegation from the National Human Rights Commission of Djibouti, led by its president Ali Soubane Ataye, visited Al Sabih on Tuesday yesterday. The visit carried out by this institution responsible for preventing potential abuses or moral and physical harm against any individual living in the country is part of its commitment to safeguarding the human rights of numerous people subject to deportation to their countries of origin. As a reminder, the CNDH is tasked with monitoring respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms in Djibouti. It works tirelessly to promote and protect human rights in all their aspects, both nationally and internationally. The CNDH provides public authorities with its opinion and advice on all legislative and administrative measures related to the protection of human rights. Upon arrival in Aska City, the CNDH president, accompanied by his main collaborators and a representative of GBM, the German International Organization for Better Migration Management, Leila Hassan, was welcomed by the regional prefect, Abdul Malik Mohammed Banouta. The prefect was warmly welcomed by the CNDH delegation. And moving on now to the world news, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has strongly condemned a deadly attack on a joint humanitarian convoy in North Darfur, Sudan. The assault resulted in the death of 5 staff members from the World Food Programme and UNICEF, with several others injured. And 12 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike targeting a displaced person stand in Khan Yunis. Details with Gassera.
Gaza Civil Defense announced Wednesday the death of 12 Palestinians in an Israeli raid targeting a tent for displaced people in the southern Gaza Strip. The Civil Defense spokesperson said the victims, mostly women and children, were killed in an Israeli airstrike this morning, which targeted tents for displaced people near the school in Adsa area of Khan Yunis. Residents reported that the Israeli army had intensified airstrike and tank fire in several areas of Khan Yunis following the distribution of a lift and ordering residents to leave their homes and head the west of Gaza Strip.
United Nations warns that global temperatures could rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius within the next 5 years. Gassira, tell us more.
The World Meteorological Organization, a part of the United Nations, has announced that there is a 70% probability that the global average temperature will temporarily exceed 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial level during the period of 2025-2029. This critical threshold is a key limit set by the Paris Climate Change Agreement, which aim to keep warming well below 2 degrees and, if possible, to 1.5 degrees.
So that's it for tonight news. Thanks for being with us and have a good night.